brother Riot. I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, wa Malak Yahushua. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty brothers that go out there and labor on the highways and byways, making their body a living sacrifice. In the rain, the tumults, the demons, the uprises, the uproars, they out there standing 10 toes down for the name of the Lord. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty brothers that are not out there as of yet, but they're building themselves up by reading, praying, fasting, being diligent, doing everything they could do to put themselves in a position to shake the hand and wake up the hopeful elect. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty akwaf in this thing that actually sincerely reverence their husbands, being teachers of good things to the children at home, being quiet, shamefaced, submissive, loving, steadfast, cooking, sewing, cleaning, doing all of the righteous acts of our foremothers. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty akwaf that are not married as of yet, but doing everything they could do to build themselves up, being quiet, shamefaced, submissive, doing everything they could do to magnify the ministry. All praise to the Most High. Last but not least, another strong shalom to all of the mighty children in this thing, abstaining from all lust, concupiscence, and peer pressure, standing 10 toes down for the name of the Lord. And it's going to be a quick video through the spirit on patience, man. Right? A real quick video on patience in your lower state. But let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse number 19. Luke chapter 21 and verse 19. In your patience, possess ye your souls. So the Lord said, in your patience, you have to possess your soul, man. And that's deep when you think about it. Because if you're not patient and you're extremely hasty and you're always in want, you're going out the way to do God knows what, and you're not listening, you're not patient in your lower state, you're not long forbearing, you're not executing the fruits of the Spirit, you're not taking your time with things, hey, the Lord could overthrow you, man. By seeking counsel, that may be something you have to wait for direction, for a sense of mind, for precepts. All of these different things happen by being patient. By being patient, you hear out a matter. By being patient, you hear all sides of a story. By being patient, the Lord directs you, man. So the Lord says, and then in patience, you don't get overthrown. There are a lot of people that have went to jail and have been locked away for life, all because of their lack of patience in a moment of adversity. Whether it was a fight that broke out, whether it was an argument, a disputation, a quarrel, whatever the matter was, they didn't execute that patience. And having patience could save your life, man. Because the Lord said you could possess your soul with it. And possess meaning you have it. It's not going to leave you. I mean, you could keep your life, your spirit, and your understanding by being patient, man. You know, it's not always the mightiest teacher or the mightiest prophet or the mightiest warrior. It could all boil down to the most patient man, the most prudent man, the most quiet man, observance. All of these different things, you understand that we don't even rarely look at, can save our lives. It's not always the sword. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 25 and verse number 28. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 25 and verse 28. And it says, he that have no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down. So the Lord said, if you don't have rule over your own spirit, you're like a city that's broken down. And it wouldn't matter how many warriors are in the city. It doesn't matter how much gold and wealth and artillery and armor and guns and all type of missile defense. It doesn't matter, man. Because if the city is broken down, it's easily to be besieged. The enemy is going to come immediately and attack you, man. Because there's no sense of what? Protection. And your spirit and your patience and your love and having rule over your spirit puts up a guard, man. Because you can shut down the spiritual demon Satan. It's as if you have a guard up. You can shut down philosophies. You shut down doctrines. You shut down deceit. You shut down quarrelings and folly and madness and foolishness. All by that defense system you have around you by ruling over your spirit. Now, if you don't rule over your spirit, you can kill somebody. You can murder. You can have evil thoughts and execute them expediently, right? You could do all manner of mischief and evil, all by not ruling over your spirit. And without walls. And that's deep, man. Because every ancient city has bulwarks. Every ancient city, you understand, has a wall. You know, you watch that in movies like Troy, or old movies, man, and empires, like 300 and things like that. All of these men, they have bulwarks and walls and things like that to protect besieging of a city. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8 and verse 3. It's the book of Ecclesiastes. Right, let me get this quick precept. Chapter 8 and verse number 3. Be not hasty to go out of his sight. Stand not in an evil thing, for he doeth whatsoever pleaseth him. So the Lord said, be not hasty to go out of his sight. And that's what a lot of brothers do a lot of the times. And we go out of the Lord's sight, man. Not that the Lord can't see us, but his sight is where he wants us to go. That's what it's saying. Don't be hasty to lean on your own understanding and go out of the sight of the Lord. Because the sight of the Lord is pondering that path of righteousness. It's a clear lamp that's leading you. That's the path and the sight for you to see. Now, if you don't do that and you drift off in darkness on your own understanding, get wicked counsel or not listen or be patient, you could be overthrown, man, by being too hasty. You know, children are too hasty, man. They're running around and doing backflips off. They don't think. No child says, am I going to break my neck today? Let me really think about it. Should I do a backflip off of this couch with my socks on a hardwood floor? Is that really a smart idea? No, they're from point A to point B. They jumping all around. They smacking stuff. They not checking labels. They eating whatever smells good. They just hasty. And through their hasty, where do you catch a lot of your marks and burns and cuts and bruises and broken bones in your childhood, man? And that's spiritual. Because in your childhood, you don't think. You're not patient. You need direction. You need help. You need somebody to tell you to slow down, man. And my folks, they used to call me Rocket. Because I used to always be running, man. I never slowed down. I always was running. Time to eat. Pew! Right, I'll get there immediately like it was a race. Go wash up. Pew! I'll run up the steps, man. Like I was on a damn rocket. And a rocket say 3, 2, 1, that thing is out of there, man. Right, come in. Right, I'm outside riding my bike. I race the bike all the way up the hill, down the hill. It was always on the move. And through that, you get broken bones, x-rays. You get over to a lot of cuts that you have on your body, maybe from your childhood, by you not being patient and you being hasty in certain matters. And we're like children on a spiritual level when we do these things. We have to be like the aged man. Now, aged man, he takes his time. He walks up the steps. He looks both ways before he crosses the street. He reads in between the lines before he signs a contract. He does things that are very patient and prudent so that he doesn't get laid hold of by a snare and trap that he did not see. Let's go to the book of Psalms chapter 56 and verse 13. It's the book of Psalms chapter 56, right? And verse number 13. And it reads, for thou hast delivered my soul from death. Wilt not thou deliver my feet from falling, that I may walk before God in the light of the living? So the Lord says, for thou hast delivered my soul from death. Will not thou deliver my feet from falling? And the Lord directs your feet. He could direct it to mischief. He could direct you in an opportunity to overthrow you. You understand? Or the Lord, through his grace and mercy, by you keeping the commandments and not being overthrown, Sirach 7:1, could direct you in the path of the light, man, to keep you. So all your feet and your pathways are plundered by the Lord. And David says, will thou not deliver my feet from falling? So David knew that he shouldn't be moving a certain way without being patient. You know what? The Lord is going to deliver my feet from falling. Let me not grab this crutch. Let me not grab on to this person and that person to hold me up. Let me wait on the Lord to direct my steps and my feet and ponder my path and hold me up. Because when you falling on a physical level, you grabbing any and everything. Grabbing the counter, the rocking chair, grandma's wig, grandpa's damn dentures. You grabbing any and everything before you fall. Because you don't care, man. You just don't want to fall. And that's spiritual too, man. And on a spiritual level, you understand, when we falling, We quick to run to a psychiatrist. We quick to run to wicked counsel and people in the world. Your auntie. You quick to run to a bottle and drugs and sex and mischief. And you just want to be held up, man. Because you don't want to fall. But in actuality, that's not keeping you up, man. You grabbing that chair when you slipping, that's not going to keep you up, man. The Lord made you fall. The Lord makes you breathe and blinking and perceive and not perceiving. Have a veil of darkness over you or release that veil off of you. Everything is of the Lord. It says, I may walk before God in the light of the living, man. So all of this is directed by what? The Most High. Let me go to, I'm going to read on from there. I will cry unto God Most High, unto God that performeth all things for me. He shall send me from heaven and save me from the reproach of him that swallow me up. Salah, God send forth his mercy and his truth. My soul is among lions, and I lie even among them that are set on fire, even the sons of men. So David is in a position where he was like Daniel in the lion's den, man. He says he lies around lions daily. A lot of people, you know, they run when they see a lion. And what's the thing that they tell you not to do when you see a dog? Don't run. And being hasty in your decision, you get out of there. You start running, and the dog wasn't even going to chase you. The dog didn't even have his eyes on you, man. But you ran. You was hasty in a decision. You didn't listen. It's good just to be patient, man. Hey, the Most High are going to let you fall if you be patient, if you keep the commandments, if you listen, if you direct your heart upright and not be wicked in false decisions. And the Lord isn't going to overthrow you, man. I've never seen a righteous forsaken, like David said. It says this, and arrows and their tongues sharp swords. Be thou exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let thy glory be above all the earth. They have prepared a net for my steps. My soul is bowed down. They have digged a pit before me, into the midst whereof they are fallen themselves. My heart is fixed, O God, my heart is fixed. I will sing and give praise. So through everything, David always gave the Most High the praise. He always was patient. He never went out of the way, man. And that's spiritual. Let me go to the book of Sirach. Matter of fact, let me go to Proverbs chapter 17 and 22. It's the book of Proverbs chapter 17 and verse number 22. A merry heart doeth good like medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones. So having a merry heart is going to do good like medicine, man. And you know that good medicine you need, that elderberry, right? You know certain herbs and hemps to heal your body, to give you that nutrients you need, certain vitamins, certain things. They build you up and they help you. They make you feel better. They direct your body and start to breathe different. Mucus leave you. Your bones start feeling stronger. Your flesh stop feeling weak. And all of that is through what? Through medicine, man. Let's not talking about the so-called white man's medicine. It's not talking when he sticks you with that juice, man. And he squirts it out. It's just so much in the tank. He just keeps squirting it and squirting it and getting off on it, man. Till he sticks it in you and releases all toxins. It's talking about the true medicine. And the true medicine is the word, which cures you, which directs you. So when you're not patient and you're not in a state to where you're hasty and the Lord reveals things to you, he gives you medicine. And medicine doesn't work immediately sometimes. You don't just take that medicine because you have a cold. You say, all better. And you give it to your daughter that she's sick. And then she stretch her arms wide and say, thank you, mommy. Thank you, daddy. And then she got a visage of a happy girl now. Now she's jumping rope. She's desiring to make pancakes and have a good day and play with the dog outside. It takes time, huh? You have to cough that stuff up. You're sitting up there, you feeling bad. Sometimes you feel worse before you feel bad. But it's leaving you. And in your lower state, sometimes it get worse and worse before it get better. But the curing of the word, the curing of patience, the curing from having a thought that the Most High didn't leave you, that's all that you need, man. And you got to continue to remember those things. If you think the Most High left you, you stray out the way, you go off, you commit sin, you not listen, you rebel, you do God knows what. And then all of that patience is going to go for naught. What would it matter if you're waiting for the bus? Waiting for the bus for 15 minutes, and then you leave. And then the bus comes the 16th minute or the 17th minute. You would essentially have wasted all of that time waiting for the bus. And then he's going to drive by, and it's going to be a water, and he's going to splash the water on you, man. And then he's going to peel off. You're going to be sitting there thinking, why didn't you wait that extra minute? And that's how we are sometimes in the spirit, man. We should have waited longer, but we didn't, through God knows what. And we have to be patient. And that teaches us a lot of things. Let's go to the book of Proverbs. Salaki, let me get this quick precept. Chapter 25 and verse 15. Right, and it reads, by long forbearing a prince, Salaki, by long forbearing is a prince persuaded. So the Lord said by long forbearing, meaning a prince, a mighty man, a general, he isn't going to be essentially persuaded easily, man. No man that's going to be of a high authority in the spirit of understanding is going to immediately, easily be persuaded to anything. You got certain people that buy cars. Now, when you buy a car, you don't just go in there and they say, well, it has a perfect engine, it has good gas mileage, and the tires are brand new. And you say, where are the keys? Where are the keys? And he said, well, sir, I thought you'd never ask. Put your name right here, right now. And don't forget your middle name. And then you sign it up, and then he throws you the keys. No, you're trying to figure out the Carfax. What year is it? Was it in an accident? Is it brand new? What are the interest rates? You're digging and diving and patience because you don't want to fall. You don't want to receive that first bill and it's a $500 car note, a $400 car note, a $700 car note because you wasn't prudent in the matter. And now you're boxed in paying this ridiculous note. So even on physical matters of the world, you're patient about it. You're patient about the job you want. Okay, no, I don't want to do that. No, I have to wait. I'll decline that one because I have another offer on the table. You know what? I can do this and I can do that. But when it comes down to the Lord, you're not patient, man. Because you can't see the Lord. You can't see him working. You can't see what's going on behind the scenes in the third heaven, man. You don't see the angels moving the elements. You don't perceive things that once were jamming you up being slowly released, man. Why? Because you're not patient. You have to be patient, man. Don't let carnal matters of the world and the lust of them direct you more in patience than the spirit, man. Hey, brother, you might have to be down bad for a long time, man. I've seen it happen plenty and plenty time again. Hey, Tobit was blind for 8 years. You understand? Paul had those demons on him before the Lord came to release him and bring him into the truth and faith and righteousness through Yahushua. You understand? A lot of men were in a position in lower state for a long time. The woman in the Gospels with that issue in her flesh. You understand? So to be in a certain situation, you can't cry out and be hasty to turn out of the way. Because right when you turn out of the way could have been your last seconds where the Most High was coming to save you, man. And that's real deep. And you have to think about those things, man. It says, by long forbearing is a prince persuaded, and a soft tongue breaketh the bone. So in a lower state, I know you like to yell, you might be angry. What do I do? Start to get hasty, start questioning the Lord. It brings spirits of anger. It brings spirits of tiredness, and you're weary, and you're sick, and you're upset. And these things trouble you, man. But in all of that, you have to take that and you have to magnify the name of the Lord with it, man. Even though it's hard to do so in certain situations. But nevertheless, that prince, through that long forbearing, he's going to be persuaded to God knows what, man. And you have to imagine that. You're that prince, man. You're being persuaded to keep the kingdom. You're being persuaded to keep the commandments. You're being persuaded to fast and pray and direct your spirit upright, man. And if you be hasty to turn out from hearing that, from receiving that and doing that, it may be a pit on the other end of what you thinking, man. So, I mean, patience is key with every situation and everything you do, right? Let me get this closing precept. Right, a quick cold cut through the spirit. It's the book, right, of Revelation. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get two. I'm gonna get my last two. It's the book Revelation chapter 3 and verse number 10. Behold, Salakia, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. So, hey, the Lord is going to deliver you, not because you know the precepts, all of the precepts. You're breaking down Daniel backwards, doing push-ups. The Lord isn't impressed with that, man. That may impress man and woman and child, but that doesn't impress the Most High, man. And the Lord says, I know thy works, that thou, Salakia, that's the spirit. I'm going to read verse 15 next. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. So the Lord said, because you have kept the patience of my word, and that's not talking about you were just patient at the bus stop and patient till the food got ready because you know it's no red and your meat. No, that's being patient in every understanding, every situation, every fault, every matter. You was patient in it, brother, and it paid off. You was patient in getting your back whooped, beat. You was patient in plagues. You was patient with a mind controlled by the spiritual demon Satan. You were patient with helping your brother. You was patient with giving alms. You was patient with helping your wife and helping your husband. You were extremely patient. And not only because of that, you were patient in the hour of adversity, the hour of temptation. You have to be patient in that too, man. Don't think the hour of temptation is going to be a literal hour. He said, oh man, 45 minutes to go. And you get afflicted. He said, oh man, another 25 minutes to go. And it's down to the last minute. And then a minute is over. And then you start to lose patience. I thought it was called the hour of temptation. Now you get an antsy, you're sweating. Your nerves are bad, it's jumpy, your veins popping. And you start to lose patience and waiting. You have to wait, man. And the children of Israel was in the wilderness for 40 years. That's a long, long, long time to not know when it's going to end, where you're going, why you're doing it, eating the same thing all the time, going in circles, it may seem. It's hot. You're trying to figure out when you're going to stop walking. And at some point, you might just say, man, I'm sick of this. I'd rather be a sojourner and a stranger because I don't want to follow the same path that I've been following. Then you go out the way. And what's out the way? It's in the wilderness. Strange creatures, no protection, the Lord not leading you. All of these different things will overthrow you, man. You have to understand that. So patience is key. It says, patience, I will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So the Lord is going to keep you in the days to come through his mercy and grace by being patient, man. And that's deep when you think about it, man. So there are more commandments rather than the immediate ones you like to look at every 5 minutes. The ones you know off the top of your head. There's more than that, man. Let me get this quick precept in Jeremiah chapter 26. It's Jeremiah chapter 26, right? And verse, I'm going to start at verse, this whole thing is crazy. I'm going to start at, I don't want to read too much. I'm going to start at verse number 9. Matter of fact, I'm going to read that, but Salakia, bear with me. I'm going to get Jeremiah 28. Salakia 38. I'm going to get that one instead of Jeremiah chapter 26. It's Jeremiah chapter 38 and verse number 2. Thus saith the Lord, he that remaineth in this city shall die by the sword, by the famine, by the pestilence, by he that goeth forth to the Chaldeans shall live. For he shall have his life for a prey and shall live. Thus saith the Lord, this city shall surely be given into the hand of the king of the Babylon army, which shall take it. Therefore the princes said unto the king, we beseech thee, let this man be put to death. So they're trying to kill Jeremiah because Jeremiah is prophesying the destruction of the city. For thus he weakeneth the hands of the men of war that remaineth in the city, and the hands of all the people, in speaking such words to them. For this man seeketh not the welfare of this people, but the hurt. And sometimes you get counsel, you receive something from the Lord or by man, and you think it's your hurt and your downfall. Well, really somebody's trying to help you, man. I mean, essentially, nobody wants to hear certain things. It makes them feel bad. They cry. It beats them down, right? They're trying to figure out if this is the truth or not. They battle with their thoughts. They don't want to be corrected. I mean, Jeremiah was essentially showing them love for real. Hey, the Most High telling you to be in order, to direct yourself upright, to go into captivity because that's your punishment. It shows humbleness. It shows to be patient in that lower state. Because, I mean, when you really think about it, man, this is the ultimate level of listening and being patient, to take your captivity, to take your whooping, take your beating. That's like right now, all the children of Israel rising up right now and just killing off Esau and putting crowns on our own heads. That's complete madness. We have to wait upon the Lord. That's the book of Psalms chapter 27 verse 14. But let me get that real fast. This is the book of Psalms chapter 27 verse 14. Wait on the Lord. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. So the Lord commanded you over and over to wait on him, wait on him, wait on him. He's not saying that for no apparent reason. That's a commandment. Now, in this situation, let me jump down to verse number 6 in Jeremiah 38:6. Then took Jeremiah and cast him into a dungeon, and Melchi, the son of Hammechalah, that was in the court of the prison, and let down Jeremiah with cords. And in the dungeon there was no water but myrrh, and Jeremiah sunk in the myrrh. Now Jeremiah wasn't down there for 25 minutes, man. And this a lower state that Jeremiah was in. I mean, Jeremiah could have said, you know what, this is not worth it. I'm catching hell by listening to the Lord. I'm getting whooped and beat and smoked by listening to the Lord. How can I be patient when every time I be patient, it overthrows me? You may start kicking a rock and it start raining on top of your head like a cartoon, man. You're like, there's no way out of this thing. Why am I continuously doing stuff that's overthrowing me? And it's called being patient. When it's the ultimate level of submissiveness unto the Lord. You have to submit, man. You can't submit when things are sunny and shiny and birds are chirping and squirrels are running around and they're venison doing backflips in the diverse parts of the forests, man. And snakes aren't bothering you, and all type of pigeons and doves are flying over your head. And out of nowhere, there's a rainbow over the crescent. There is no sufficiency to your salvation, man. Nor does the Lord care about that. In Jeremiah's lower state, he kept the patience. Being in the dungeon, he didn't have to do the things that he did, but he did it for the Lord because the Lord jacked up his spirit. So he kept the word of patience. Jumping down to verse number 10, right? Now, I'm gonna start at verse 9. My Lord, the king, these men have done evil in all that they have done to Jeremiah, the prophet, whom they have cast into the dungeon, and he is like to die for hunger. So Jeremiah's about to damn die, man. Jeremiah could have said, enough, let me out. It was a lie. He didn't say that, man. Imagine you about to die in a dungeon for hunger. It's dark. It's wet. It said he sunk in the myrrh. Myrrh is like swamp water, man, and mud. It's muddy. It's sweaty. It stink. It's dark. He's lonely. He's hungry. He's thirsty. And all for the words of the Lord. And Jeremiah could have got out of this dungeon. You'd be a fool to think he couldn't. All he had to say was, it's a lie. Or, you know, this is the new word of the Lord coming by me right now. If thou desirest to hear it, pull me up. It is good news, I say. It is good news. And they could have pulled them up, man. Well, what is the good news? Well, the good news is the Lord has changed his mind. And then okay, now we want to hear that. Yeah. Let him go. He's my personal prophet. Assign them with the 97 false prophets of mine that I love to hear their speech. No, Jeremiah kept it strong, man. It says, Jeremiah, the prophet, whom thou was cast into the dungeon, and he is like to die for hunger in this place, where he is, for there is no more bread in the city. Then the king commanded Abed-melech, the Ethiopian, saying, take from thence 30 men with he, Salakia, and take up Jeremiah the prophet out of the dungeon before he die. So Abed-melech took the men with him and went into the house of the king under the treasury and took thence old cast cloths and rotten rags and let them down by cords into the dungeon to Jeremiah. And that's spiritual, man. Because out of all things that saved Jeremiah, it was the Lord used the heathen and dirty rags. And that's the spirit, man. The Lord can save you any kind of way. He can save you through a phone call, the most smallest, silliest, tedious, tiny thing, man, to overthrow for your better good and save your whole day, your life, or your spirit, man. He used the heathen on top of dirty rags. And Abed-melech, the Ethiopian, said unto Jeremiah, put now these old clads and rotten rags under thy armholes, under thy cloths. And Jeremiah did so. And Jeremiah came out of this prison because the Most High saved him. Now, when you go to Jeremiah 39 and verse number 16, it says, go and speak to Abed-melech, the Ethiopian, saying, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will bring my words upon the city for evil and not for good, and they shall be accomplished in the day before thee. But I will deliver thee in the day, saith the Lord, and thou shalt not be, Salakia, given into the hands of the men who thou art afraid. For I will surely deliver thee, and thou shalt not fall by the sword, but thy life shall be for a prey unto thee, because thou hast put thy trust in me, saith the Lord. And the Lord, as you read the 40th chapter and continuing on out, hey, the shackles got released, man. 40 and verse 4. So being patient, no hunger, no food, famine, captivity, all of these different things, hey, the Lord delivered Jeremiah out of that, man, because he waited. He had patience in that lower state, and he loved the Most High. So no matter how deep you are in a pit, financially, spiritually, emotionally, or whatever is dealing that's attacking you, by long forbearing, as you read Ephesians, the 3rd chapter, Ephesians, the 4th chapter, various other precepts, Colossians, the 4th chapter, that you find out that this is the state the Lord may want you in for that time to grow you. Because every flower has had a vehement amount of rain beat on them before it grew. Wind blow to petals plucked off, man. Different beasts treading the garden, stomping on the flower. But through the sun still continuously coming out, through patience and time, the flower continues to grow, man, through all of those adversities. And that's how we are through the spirit, man. We're going to continue to grow. And we're going to continue to wax strong. And we're going to come into perfection by waiting, by being patient, by understanding this is the estate the Most High want me in, man. And the Lord said in the book of 1 Corinthians, Salakia, 1 Thessalonians, where I'm going to get 2 more precepts and close out. 5 and 18. In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ concerning you. So everything and every situation you're in, you have to give thanks to the Most High. Because this is the will of God in Christ concerning you. Meaning from the foundation, you're allotted to whatever's going on at the exact moment in time. So you have to take that cheerfully and understand from the foundation, this is what the Most High wanted. We're not going to fight against predestination and fight against the Most High and fight against how we feel. We're not going to do that, man. Because when you do that, brother, you're fighting against the Most High. I mean, the Most High put us in captivity. The Most High broke us down. The Most High took your mother's spirit. The Most High has this happen and that happen. The Most High is decreasing you and decreasing you and building up this brother and building up that brother. So don't fight against what's going on. Give the Most High thanks and understand why it's happening and being patient in your lower state so you can come out of that, man. Let me bring out the last precept. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 3, and verse number 2. And it reads, be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die. For I have not found thy works perfect before God. Remember, therefore, how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast. What does it mean when you hold something fast? Meaning you never let it go, man. Don't let go this truth. Don't let go of your spirit. Don't let go of your understanding. Don't let go of your children and your wife and your household and your congregation and your friends that are like brothers. Closer than brothers, man. Closer than sisters of the world. Physical sisters of a bloodline, man. That are in your own house. Hey, the Lord said, who are my mother and my brethren? Don't let these things go. You have to hold that fast. And another thing we have to hold fast is patience. It's so easy to react so fast, man. It's so easy. You know, our brain, I don't even know the ratio. I'm not a scientist, but our brains react so fast. You have certain people, you know, they'll shoot something and they'll slice it with like a damn sword, man. Or they'll throw something and then somebody will catch it real fast. And before something is thrown at you and you catch it real fast or dodge it, your brain has already thought it. Way before your hand was fast enough to do whatever the reaction was. So your brain is thinking very, very fast all the time. And it's not all righteous things. It's thinking a million things back to back to back. You get no rest from your thoughts, not even when you sleep. So understand that the flesh is suppressing and it's pulling us down. And understand the condition of the battle we fight. And understand how easy and how fast it is to think and do something. You have to be that much more stronger to reframe yourself, to pull back, to be patient, to digress, and gather your thoughts, gather your emotions, gather your spirit. You understand? To make that proper judgment at whatever is going on in your life. It says, be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die. For I have not found thy works perfect before God. Remember, therefore, how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come unto thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. So the Lord said, if you're not watching, he's going to visit you like a thief in the night, man. And the thief in the night, you never know what time they come. They're quiet. You don't hear them. And the next thing you know, you're overthrown and your whole house is spoiled by your lack of watching, being discerned about the matter of what's going on, and your lack of protection around your house, man. And that's spiritual, because your house is your body and your spirit and your temple, and you protect it. You protect your so-called physical house with a lock. You grab the lock, you put the lock on, right? Your damn wife, all the way upstairs. Lock the door before you go to sleep, before you come back upstairs. Right? You gotta lock the door. Okay, I'm gonna lock. Make sure you lock the back door. Right? She half awake, telling you to lock the back door. And this is on a carnal level, man. This is a carnal level. Your kid come in the house, he thirsty, you lock the door, he gets something to drink, then he unlock it and go back outside subconsciously. Doing all of these things on these physical levels. But on a spiritual level, you gotta lock your door. And them demons will break in. They'll stick their hand through the damn window and crack the lock. I mean, any breeze, any crack, any hole, ants, bugs, roaches, snakes, creatures, hands, demons, robbers, thieves, they break in houses, man. Creatures break in houses. Anything that's a crack, breach, hole, a damn anything, attic, not sealed up, and you'll be game, man. So the same way we have to lock up, hold fast, watch, repent, and keep our vessels clean as much as we can through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. But with that, man, continue to wax mighty through the spirit in the last days. Keep the Sabbath day holy and stay on fire for the Most High God. Yahweh Bashem Mashiach Malak Yahushua. Shalom.